The disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Master, teach us to pray." And he gave them a prayer. The prayer. The one that would become the most recited words in Christianity. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. Let us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. Everyone knows it. You've said it 1,000 times. In church. Before meals. In moments of desperation. The Lord's Prayer. The most common prayer in history. But hidden inside that prayer, Jesus embedded 3 codes. 3 phrases that aren't what the church taught you they mean. 3 monad recognitions disguised as religious language. And when you speak them with awareness of what they actually are, they don't connect you to external God sitting on a throne judging whether you're worthy. They activate your monad consciousness. They break archon claims on your energy. They shift your frequency out of their harvest range. The church kept the prayer. Made it mandatory. Taught you to recite it over and over and over. But they never told you what those 3 phrases really do when spoken with consciousness of their actual function. Because if you understood that 3 lines in the Lord's Prayer are activation codes that make you unreachable by archon frequency, you'd stop being controllable. You'd stop being dependent on church to connect you to God. You'd activate direct monad alignment. And archons would lose access to you completely. You've always felt something was off about rote prayer. Repeating words without power. Ritual without result. Like you're going through motions that should mean something but don't. That's because you were saying them unconsciously. The 3 codes Jesus embedded only work when you know what they are. When you speak them with awareness of their actual meaning and function. Without that awareness, they're just sounds. Empty repetition. But with awareness, activation, frequency shift, archon claim broken. Jesus hid them in plain sight. In the most recited prayer in Christianity. So that pneumatics who could see past religious conditioning would find them, activate them, and escape. Tonight, you're learning which 3 phrases in the Lord's Prayer are actually monad codes. What they mean beneath the religious language. What they do when spoken with consciousness. And how to say them tonight to activate their function. Which is shifting your frequency into monad alignment and out of archon reach. Not asking for it, activating it. If you're activating the 3 monad codes hidden in the Lord's Prayer tonight, comment, "I speak monad codes" right now. You've recited the Lord's Prayer hundreds, maybe thousands of times. In church services where everyone says it together. Before meals with family. In moments of fear or desperation when you needed something bigger than yourself. And every single time something felt mechanical. Empty. Like you were going through motions without activating anything real. Like the words should carry power but they're just falling flat. Dead sounds and empty air. That's because you were taught to repeat it unconsciously. Just say the words. The meaning doesn't matter. The awareness doesn't matter. The understanding doesn't matter. Just recite it and you're being faithful. You're doing your religious duty. But your pneumatic core knew that's not how it works. That words without consciousness behind them are just vibrations. That prayers recited by rote don't connect to anything because there's no awareness directing the energy. There's no recognition activating. You always felt the Lord's Prayer should be powerful, should do something, should shift something. And it does. But not the way the church taught you to say it. Not as unconscious repetition. As conscious activation. The church never told you that Jesus embedded monad codes inside that prayer. That 3 specific phrases aren't requests to external God. They're activation statements, recognition declarations, frequency shift commands. When spoken with awareness of what they actually mean, with consciousness of their real function, they don't petition. They command. They don't ask for help from outside. They claim sovereignty from within. They don't connect you to distant deity who might or might not respond. They activate your monad consciousness and break archon frequency locks that keep you in their harvest range. The church kept you reciting them unconsciously for 2,000 years because conscious activation of those 3 codes makes you uncontrollable. You stop being dependent on priests to intercede. You stop being manipulable through guilt and fear. You stop being harvestable. You operate from monad frequency, direct source alignment. And archons can't touch that frequency. They operate in separation consciousness. In fear, lack, unworthiness, need. When you activate monad codes, you shift out of that entire range. And the church couldn't allow that. So they kept the prayer. made it sacred, but hid what it actually does. The Lord's Prayer is the most recited prayer in Christianity. Billions of people speak it daily. In every language, in every denomination. Catholic masses, Protestant services, Orthodox liturgies, all of them use it. Children memorize it. Adults recite it without thinking. And everyone assumes they know what it means. Humble requests to a loving Father. Petitions for daily provision, forgiveness of sins, protection from evil. That's the surface level. That's what the church taught. Passive religious language. Small human asking big God for help. But when you look at the actual phrases with Gnostic awareness, when you see them not as religious petitions but as coded consciousness statements, 3 phrases stand out. 3 phrases that aren't asking for anything. They're declaring something, recognizing something, activating something, shifting your frequency into alignment with monad and out of archon range. Jesus hid them in plain sight, embedded them in language that sounds religious but functions as activation code. And you've been saying them your whole life without knowing what they do. First code. Thy kingdom come. The church taught you this means, please God, bring your kingdom to earth someday in the future when you decide the time is right. Passive. Waiting. Hoping. Future-focused. You're asking for something that isn't here yet. Praying for a kingdom that might arrive eventually if you're faithful enough. But that's not what Jesus encoded. That's not what this phrase does when spoken with awareness. Thy kingdom come, in the original Gnostic context, is present tense recognition, not future petition. The kingdom isn't coming someday. It's here, now, within.